In this one course you will get 1230 questions. And next question, which of the following expansion slots provides the fastest data transfer rates in modern desktop computers? So which of the following expansion slots, so we are talking about expansion slots, so which of them provides the fastest data transfer rates in modern desktop computers? PCI, AGP, PCIe by 16 or X16, ISA, PCIe by 1 or X1, or AMR. And here the correct answer is PCIe by 16, as it has 16 ways instead of only one. PCI by 16 slots offers the fastest bandwidth commonly used for high performance graphics cards and NVMe storage. And next question, which of the following wireless standards operates in the 5 GHz frequency band and can provide gigabit speeds? 802.11a, 802.11b, 802.11g, 802.11n, 802.11ac, or 802.11ax. And the correct answer here is 802.11ac, as 802.11ac operates primarily in 5 GHz band and supports speeds exceeding 1 gigabit per second. Which type of memory module is most commonly used in laptop computers? So we are talking about memory module. DIMM, SRAM, EEPROM, VRAM, SODIMM, or SIM. And we are talking about laptops, not desktop computers. So we have two types, one is for desktop, one is for laptop. And for laptops we are talking, when it comes to laptops, we are talking about SODIMMs, as SODIMM modules are smaller than DIMMs and designed for laptops and compact devices, as on desktops we use DIMMs or DIMM memory modules. And next question, which component is responsible for converting AC power from the wall into DC power usable by the internal component of a desktop PC? As you know, in our normal electricity, in our sockets we have AC power, but our computer actually, or parts of our computer, is using DC, so every time it needs to be converted from AC to DC. So components of our computers, whether it's a laptop, whether it's your desktop PC, anyway, all power inside or all parts which are running inside, they are using DC power. So AC needs to be converted into DC. And this question is asking which component is responsible for converting this power from our socket, which is AC. You can easily remember this with AC because this is alphabet, and in alphabet the first letter AC, and it comes from your wall, power from the wall into DC power usable by the internal components of a desktop PC. What I just explained you. If you are new to computers and you just wanted to understand the question. So, which component is responsible for it? To convert AC to DC. Motherboard, power supply unit PSU, CPU, which is central processing unit or your processor, RAM, random access memory, hard drive, or GPU or graphics processing unit or graphics card. So which of these are responsible for converting AC to DC? And the correct answer here is power supply unit. That is that box, for example, if you have a desktop PC which is under or behind, which is responsible for your power supply. As PSU converts AC from outlet into the low voltage DC power needed by PC components. And by the way, you can go to Skill Test Pro for yourself and do these practice tests for free. As currently, at least currently, as of recording this video, this website is absolutely free and it is brilliant. If you go into CompTIA, you can find different practice tests for any CompTIA exam. As you can see, for Core 1 there is 50 different practice tests, and for Core 2 there is another 50 different practice tests which you can take for yourself. This, for example, for CompTIA A Core 2. If we go in, you can see CompTIA A Plus Core 2 practice test, and you can start and do this practice test for yourself. Okay, let's go back to our practice test, which we for 2 hour questions, and the question is: a technician needs to connect a desktop computer directly to another desktop for file transfer using Ethernet. Which cable type is best suited for this task? Straight through Ethernet cable, crossover Ethernet cable, coaxial cable, fiber optic cable, USB Type A cable, or HDMI cable. And here, if you know anything about connecting network devices, you could straight away throw away all these features, because we would use only 2 cables. One would be straight through Ethernet cable or crossover Ethernet cable. So one of these are only correct answers, and correct answer is crossover Ethernet cable, as crossover cable is used to connect 2 similar devices like 2 PCs directly without a switch or hub. Or for example, if you would like to connect switch to switch, you would also use a crossover cable. If you would want to connect router to router, you would also use a crossover Ethernet cable. But if you would want to connect switch to a router, which are 2 different devices, you would use straight through Ethernet cable. Or for crossover Ethernet cables are used to connect the same type of devices, and straight through Ethernet cable is used to connect different type of devices. And next question: which of the following ports is commonly used for incoming email via the POP3 protocol? Port 21, port 25, port 80, port 110, port 143, or port 443. And here the correct answer is port 110, as POP3 uses port 110 for retrieving emails from a server to a client devices. And if we would be talking about secure, or if here would be a secure instead of only mentioning POP3, then there would be a different protocol, and that wouldn't be 110, but that would be port 995, as POP3 uses 2 types of ports for simple connections via incoming emails. We are using port 110 for secure, we are using port 995. Next question: a user reports that their wireless mouse is unresponsive. Which of the following should a technician check first? So if mouse is unresponsive, and keyword here is wireless. Reinstall the operating system, replace the computer's motherboard, check if the mouse batteries are depleted, upgrade the computer's BIOS, disable firewall settings, or replace the hard drive. And the correct answer here is batteries are depleted. That's as wireless mice often become unresponsive due to dead batteries. And similar thing is happening also with our keyboards if they are wireless and they are battery driven. This is a simple and logical first check before more complex troubleshooting. Which type of device is commonly used to protect a computer from power surges? Surge protector, UPS, like I mentioned, you should know what is UPS, which is uninterruptible power supply, power strip, inverter, line conditioner, or voltage regulator. So from power surges we use surge protector. A surge protector prevents voltage spikes from damaging a computer by blocking or grounding excess power. Which of the following is considered the biometrical authentication method? So we are talking about biometric, so you should know what it assumes. username and password, smart card, fingerprint scanner, security question, PIN code, or RSA token. And the correct answer here is fingerprint scanner, as biometric authentication uses physical characteristics like fingerprint for identity verification, like passwords or tokens. As when we are talking about biometric, this means that something we are. If we are talking about username and password, that is something we know. And next question. A technician is replacing a magnetic hard drive with a SSD in laptop. Which of the following benefits should the user expect? So, if we are replacing the magnetic hard drive, which is HDD, with SSD, which of the following benefits should the user expect? Increased storage capacity, support for dual displays, increased screen resolution, enhanced sound quality, improved battery life and faster boot times, or additional USB ports. And the correct answer here is improved battery life and faster boot times, as SSD consume less power and have no moving parts, leading to faster boot times and improved battery life compared to magnetic hard drives. A technician is asked to troubleshoot a computer that is experiencing the blue screen of death or BSOD frequently. Which of the following tools would be most helpful in diagnosing the underlying case? Task Manager, Event Viewer, System Configuration or MS-config, Resource Monitor, Performance Monitor, or Device Manager. And here the correct answer is Event Viewer, as the Event Viewer logs system errors and critical failures, leading to BSODs, helping identify faulty drivers or failing hardware modules. A technician is asked to perform a secure disposal of hard drive containing sensitive company data. Which of the following methods is most physically destructive and ensures the highest level of data security? Degaussing, full format with multiple overwrites, deleting all files and emptying the recycle bin, drilling multiple holes through the drive platters, physically shredding the hard drive, or melting the hard drive. Here the correct answer is physically shredding the hard drive, as physically shredding destroys the driver's platters and components, ensuring no data recovery is possible, making it the most secure physical destruction method. Which of the following is common type of port used for connecting a projector to a laptop for displaying presentations? USB Type A, Ethernet, audio jack, HDMI, PS2, or serial port. And here the correct answer is HDMI, as HDMI is the most common modern interface for connecting laptops to projectors, transmitting both high-quality digital video and audio. Which of the following is common symptom of failing or improperly installed CMOS battery in a laptop computer? The screen flickering, the battery not charging, the system clock losing time or resetting, especially after the laptop has been off, the touchpad becoming unresponsive, the Wi-Fi connection dropping frequently, the internal fan running constantly at a high speed. Here, to be able to answer this question, you should know what is the purpose of CMOS battery. And once you know it, you are able to answer this question. And the answer is the system clock losing time or resetting, especially after the laptop has been off, as CMOS battery now in latest laptops mainly is only responsible for keeping the computer time while the computer is switched off. A user wants to connect a set of analog speakers with RSA connectors to their computer, which only has 3.5 mm audio output jack. Which type of adapter cable is required? 3.5 mm to USB adapter, RSA to USB adapter, 3.5 mm to Ethernet adapter, 3.5 mm to RSA adapter cable, USB to RSA adapter, or HDMI to RSA adapter. And here the correct answer is 3.5 mm to RSA adapter cable. As a 3.5 mm to RSA adapter cable converts the computer's analog audio output to the RSA connectors used by the analog speakers. Which of the following is common type of memory used in network security appliances for storing temporary data related to active network sessions and connections? DDR4 RAM, SODIMM, SRAM, flash memory, EEPROM, or DIMM? And the correct answer here is SRAM, as SRAM is fast and used in network security devices to store session data temporarily due to its ability to handle real-time network traffic processing. A technician is asked to upgrade the CPU in a server. Which of the following factors is most critical to ensure compatibility with the existing motherboard? The CPU's clock speed, the CPU's core count, the CPU socket type, the CPU's thermal design power, the brand of the CPU, which is Intel or AMD, as these are the most popular ones, or the amount of integrated graphics on the CPU. And here the correct answer is the CPU socket type, as the CPU socket must match both physically and electrically with the motherboard. Even CPUs of the same brand but different generations can require different sockets. Which of the following is a common type of port used for connecting a document scanner to a computer for digitizing paper documents? VGA, HDMI, Ethernet or RJ45, USB Type A, PS/2, or audio jack 3.5 mm. And here the correct answer is USB Type A, as document scanners commonly connect through a USB Type A port for transferring scanned documents to a computer. Some networked scanners might also use Ethernet, but USB standard for direct connections. Which of the following is common symptom of failing or improperly configured network firewall or workstation? Slow file transfer speed on the local network, inability to access any website or network resources, the system clock losing time, no sound from the speakers, the printer showing as offline, or the intermittent blue screen of death or BSOD errors. And here the correct answer is inability to access any website or network resources, as misconfigured or restrictive firewall can block all inbound and outbound traffic, leading to a complete network disconnection, including no access to a website or shared network resources. A user wants to connect a new Thunderbolt 4 external SSD to their laptop. Which type of port must the laptop have to support the full performance of this SSD? USB 3.0 Type A, USB 3.1 Type A, USB-C, Thunderbolt 3 or Thunderbolt 4 via USB-C, HDMI, or Ethernet, which is RJ45. And here the correct answer is Thunderbolt 3 or Thunderbolt 4 via USB-C, as Thunderbolt 3 or 4, which both use USB-C connectors. This is also what you should know, that Thunderbolt 3 or 4, this is only a technology, but connector type is USB-C connector, are required to achieve maximum data transfer speeds of a Thunderbolt 4 SSD. Regular USB-C ports may not support the Thunderbolt protocol or its high bandwidths. Which of the following is a common type of memory used in network security appliances for storing the firmware and operating system? DDR4 RAM, SODIMM, SRAM, flash memory, EEPROM, or DIMM? And the correct answer here is flash memory, as flash memory is non-volatile storage medium suitable for storing the firmware and operating system in network security appliances, as this software needs to be persistent and loadable upon boot. A technician needs to configure a firewall rule on a SOHO or small office, home office router to allow access to a web server running on an internal IP address from the internet. Which of the following settings is essential? The web server's MAC address, the router's WAN IP address, the router's hostname, the DNS server address, the web server's internal IP address and port, or the network subnet mask? And the correct answer is the web server's internal IP address and port, as this is to allow external access to a web server running on an internal IP address. The firewall rule must specify the web server's internal IP address and the port it is listening on, typically, which is port 80 or port 443. This tells the router where to direct incoming traffic on those ports. A user wants to connect a set of surround sound speaker to their computer. The computer has multiple 3.5mm audio output jacks. Which type of sound card configuration is typically required for this setup? So to set up a surround sound speaker to their computer. A standard stereo sound card, a sound card with a single 3.5mm output, a sound card with multiple 3.5mm outputs, 5.1 or 7.1, a USB hub, a video capture card, or a network interface card. And here the correct answer is a sound card with multiple 3.5mm outputs, 5.1 or 7.1. To connect a surround sound speaker to a computer, a sound card with multiple 3.5mm outputs, typically 5.1 or 7.1 channel, is required. Each jack corresponds to a specific speaker channel: front, rear, center, and subwoofer. Which of the following is common type of memory used in network security appliances for storing the digital certificate used for SSL TLS encryption? DDR4 RAM, SODIMM, SRAM, flash memory, EEPROM, or DIMM? And here the correct answer is flash memory, as flash memory is non-volatile storage medium suitable for storing digital certificates in network security appliances, as this data needs to be persistent and accessible for SSL TLS encryption processes. Which of the following is common type of cable used to connect a network switch to a router for internet access? USB cable, HDMI cable, RJ11 cable, RJ45 cable, power cable, or VGA cable? And here we are talking about RJ45, as network devices or connectors are usually connected by RJ45 cables. As network switches connect to a router using RJ45 Ethernet cable to provide internet access to the devices on a local network. The router acts as a gateway to the internet. So yes guys, these were the questions, and like I mentioned, if you are interested, go and check out my course on Udemy with 730 questions, and that course includes multiple choice questions and answers similar as here, which you can take yourself.